Who's ready to go to battle? Who's ready to fight? I'm serious. This is the biggest battle in the history of the Constitution of the United States, from tyranny, from the government against us, the citizens. This is the biggest battle. As a matter of fact, I've been hitting my heavy bag in the last couple days. Took a picture of Mayor Cuomo from New York, put it on there, and I've been pounding away. I think I'll change pictures tomorrow because that photo is just like torn to pieces, and I have an idea on who the next photo is going to be on that punching bag tomorrow. And what I'm trying to use this analogy for is we have a battle. In this corner, we have us, the citizens of the United States of America, law-abiding, good Americans. We want a harmonious society. We want to be law-abiding gun owners. And for the government to say that we are child killers, I'll get to that, with his children surrounding himself in his speech about everything I'm about to speak about, was hideous. So in this corner, we have us, the law-abiding citizen. And in this corner, we have the federal government. Wow. Think of what we are doing right now in American history. We have to win. We have to win this battle. The NRA's there as we know it. It's all over the headlines. We have to win this battle. We have to fight. I want all of the anti-gun grabbers to wear red, because we are raging bulls right now. This corner, you have us, the good American citizen. In this corner, you have the anti-gun grabbers, the New World Order in this corner. Let the battle begin. This is the fight of the century, the fight of the history of the United States. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to weaponseducation.com. Let's talk about what's going on. As you know from day one, I've been an advocate for the Second Amendment, for George Washington, the Constitution of the United States. I've interviewed Wayne LaPierre a year ago, and I've been there for us from day one, and I will continue to do so. And in this video, we're going to lay out what exactly we are up against so we can get an idea of how to battle it. First of all, let me just talk about some things. Mr. Obama's speech, his initial speech when he laid out all of his executive orders, which a lot of people seem to say, well, they weren't too bad. You know, the Americans, they don't know. I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way, but the bulk of Americans, they thought it wasn't too bad. We know what's going on. His speech with the children in the background was horrific. I really think it was horrific, and that is why us, the NRA, used that ad talking about President Obama's children having armed security and all the other schools and the children, our children, not having armed security, because that's what this is all about. Like I said in previous videos, I mean, like, of course, all children should be protected. They're a precious future. We have to protect them. And all of all his executive orders I'm about to speak about, hardly any of them, if any, talk about protecting children, and I'll talk about that. Now he's going on a road campaign, Obama, as if he's running for president again, except he's running right now on this campaign to push an agenda to take away our guns, our Second Amendment right, infringe on the Second Amendment, and start a new world order. It is that bad. And don't let it fool you. That's what this is. a tour that he'll be going on, even though we have problems with a budget that we can't pass, a government that is bankrupt. The United States is bankrupt. The Standard & Poor's keeps downgrading us as a country. I mean, it's hideous that he is putting his full strength into this in lieu of helping the poor people who are unemployed. And unemployment numbers are bogus, by the way. People who used to make $60,000 a year, well-educated people, a 50-year-old man gets laid off because of this crunch of the economy, is now making $18,000 a year. They count him as employed. These are real problems that our government should be tackling. Inflation, unemployment, gas prices. Instead, the government right now is pushing for taking away our guns. And if anyone doesn't believe that, keep listening to this video. It's real. And the executive orders that already took place, there are so many smoke and mirrors. It's scary. The invasive background checks. Where do I even go with that? People say, well, it's okay to have background checks, and I'm okay with the current background checks. But what about a background check where now it's 15 pages and all of a sudden you had an argument with your wife 5 years ago and the two of you went to seek counseling. Now you're okay. Uh-oh. That doctor now has to report all of your medical records, psychiatrist, whatever type of doctor you went to or person to assist you to help you with your marriage or whatever problems you're going through, that goes to the government. You're out for guns. We're going to talk about that. How about people with voting throughout the country and no voter ID cards? And what's that all about? And they're going after us now. This is really bad. But we're going to win. We're going to win. It's not going to get through Congress, and it's not going to get through the Senate or the House. You mark my words. The NRA is slamming them hard, and they're afraid of us. And if you watch the news closely, like I do, the media is bogus, by the way. They're not going to tell our side, but they are kind of hinting like, well, we're not sure if we can push this, if Obama can push this through. Now, by the way, if you're a liberal and you're a Democrat and you're watching this channel, that means you're pro-gun. And this is America. We're all able to be whatever party we want. Democrat, Independent, Republican. That's your decision. This is about guns, not about what party you like or dislike. So I'm not slamming any party. I'm just talking about what's real and what's going on now. Let's talk about Obama's executive actions in which a lot of people say, well, nah, they were not too bad. Okay, I have a couple of them highlighted. There's a total of 23, by the way. Here's one here that addresses unnecessary legal barriers, particularly related to the Health Insurance Portability Act, that may prevent states from making information available to the background check system. Which means, with the new, this ties into the new health insurance, government health insurance, Obamacare, and your doctor is going to have to turn you in, basically, if you give him personal information about yourself in which he or her deems like, well, he's sad, he's got a bad credit report, he lost his home, he's going through foreclosure, he or her, or, you know, boyfriend trouble, girlfriend trouble. You got to think about that. This Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act is a backdoor effort for the federal government. They're covering every loophole possible to make sure we don't get guns in the future. I mean, who didn't have an argument with your wife in the past? Who didn't ever tell something to your doctor that maybe you regretted 20 years ago. These doctors are now going to be on the line by federal law to turn you in, your health records. And it all ties in with the Obamacare that was rammed down our throats. And like I said, if you like Obama, that's fine. I'm talking about guns. We all need to band together now. Democrats, liberals, independents, Republicans, whatever your beliefs are. If we don't band together now, we are going to be under the tyranny of the U.S. government, and we have to band together and put all that stuff aside. Here's this one here. Direct the Attorney General to review categories of individuals forbidden from having a gun to make sure dangerous people are not slipping through the cracks. Direct the Attorney General, Eric Holder, to review categories. Categories. How do you define the word categories? I got to move on. So what I'm talking about is Obama's executive actions that is already law now. He signed it with a stroke of a pen. What are categories? I don't know. Categories can be whatever they want. So the Attorney General can come after you. Propose rulemaking to give law enforcement the ability to run a full background check on an individual before seizing a gun. It sounds good on the top here, but if you look into it, propose rulemaking. What is the definition of rulemaking? That's what I want to know. I want to know what your 100-page bill on rulemaking is, on what categories is. Kind of like the healthcare bill. Oh, you'll figure it out after it's passed. You'll figure out this 1,600-page bill after it's passed, like Pelosi said. That's what we're up against, folks. You're looking at one sentence here and everyone's saying, oh, well, the executive actions were no big deal. These are huge. These are ways for the government to confiscate our guns in the future. And if you don't believe it, I'm sorry, I disagree. Here's another one here. Executive Order number 6, publish a letter from the ATF to licensed gun dealers, providing guidance on how the background checks for private sellers. Now, I don't have a problem with all gun sales getting a background check. My problem is, what is the definition of the future background check? What is it? What is it, Mr. Obama? Review safety standards. Sounds good on, listen to this. Sounds good on the top here. Review safety standards for gun locks and gun safes. Well, okay. What is the definition of review? What does that mean? The definition of review. Well, let's see. That means all guns have to be in safes at all times, 100% of the time. If this gets passed, I don't know. It could be. I think people in England, our friends in England, you have to keep your guns, the few of you who have guns, locked up, no ammo in it, in the safe, with a lock on the trigger. Huh, that's going to do you a lot of good on a home invasion. Here's number 12. Provide law enforcement and first responders and school officials with proper training in active shooter situations. Now, this is the only one that ties in and agrees with the NRA, in which we said from day one, yeah, we need cops in all the schools. I said it, even I think before the NRA. I did. If you look at my original video on the Connecticut shooting, yeah, we need cops, security officers in all schools. I mean, that's just common sense. They're our children. They're our future. But does everybody realize that Mr. Obama is only allocating $500 million? First time it's not in the billions. First time he's not spending more than he has to. And if you do the math, $500 million will about give us 10,000 schools with security or cops. All right, so there's 100,000 schools in America, Mr. Obama. What about the other 90,000 schools? So this is all about children, with children in your background, and you're only accounting for $500 million. You're only allocating $500 million to our schools. This is not about protecting our children, Mr. Obama. This is about infringing on the Second Amendment, taking away our gun rights, becoming a government that has tyranny against its citizens, and becoming a dictatorship, and tying in with the Arms Trade Treaty with the UN, a new world order. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is real. This is the biggest battle America has ever had against our government. And it's not just guns. This is bigger than that, 1,000 times bigger than that. This is why it's so important that we all join the NRA. They are our best bet because they are scaring the heck out of the politicians who are up for re-election. And if they don't vote the right way in the Senate and Congress and the House, if they don't vote on our side, they're not going to get re-elected. And they know it. That's why there's a lot of Democrats who are very afraid to vote on Obama's side. And I'm going to say it again. It's okay if you like Obama. I respect you for that. And I respect you for watching the channel. Do not dislike me, please, for what's going on. I have another video I'll do in the future of Mr. Obama's exact words saying he will not ever take away our guns when he was running for president. He said it multiple times on his campaign tour. And now he's doing just the opposite. He was supposed to be the most transparent president in the history of the United States, and now he's not. And this is not a bashing of Obama. This is us trying to save our rights for our children, for ourselves. Number 13, maximize enforcement efforts to prevent gun violence and prosecute gun crime. Okay, well, aren't we prosecuting gun crime already? So what is the new definition of prosecute? You got to really look into this in detail because every one of these executive orders is a 1,000-page bill. Number 15, direct the Attorney General, Eric Holder, to issue a report on the availability and most effective use of new gun safety technologies. Eric Holder is going to do that after he is responsible for killing American citizens and handing over thousands of guns to the Mexican cartels. We'll never forget Fast and Furious. Number 16, and this one's huge. Clarify that the Affordability Care Act does not forbid doctors acting... Oh, I'm sorry. I'll say it again. Clarify that the Affordability Care Act does not forbid doctors asking their patients about guns in their homes. Did you hear that? Clearly, I have to, and this is too powerful. Doctors have to ask patients about guns in their homes. So if you're a 10, 13, 15-year-old child, goes to the pediatrician, the doctor, whatever, orthodontist, any MD. Does your daddy and mommy have a gun in the home? ATF is after you. So, it's all part of the Obamacare and our records being published to the government. And the doctors can now ask, via executive order, the doctors can now ask anyone who goes to the doctor, do you know of anybody who has guns in their homes? We want to know. And the doctors, by law, by federal law, are going to have to report you. So this is going to force people to lie, and if you lie, you're thrown in jail. It's a mess. Number 17, release a letter to healthcare providers clarifying that no federal law forbids them from reporting threats, like what I just said. Gosh, if your husband's a cop and you have a bad marriage, I'm sorry, it's all by federal law going to have to be reported to the feds. That's just some of the mess we have. Invasive background checks. The background check is going to be huge. It's going to be 15 pages. It's going to go into your medical records. It's going to go into, oh my gosh, I hope you never spoke to a psychiatrist because you didn't have a good night's sleep. No gun for you. All right. And this stuff with Feinstein, loophole, amends. This thing is 25 pages long, what she wants. She wants to take away all of our guns. If this stuff gets passed, we're looking at gun shops with 75% of their shelves illegal. Go get your 22 5-round revolver or 6-round revolver, and if you pass 50 different loopholes and you get approved, good luck if this gets passed. It's that bad. But I'm an optimist. We're out coming fighting, and I really think we're going to win. I really think the Senate, Congress, House is not going to pass this so-called assault weapons ban. I think we got the edge because of the NRA. I really do. I really do. I'm an optimist. Let me know what you think. The link is below to join the NRA. Please use my link. I work hard for us. You don't realize some of the stuff I do in the background. Please use my link to join the NRA. They notice the numbers, and it helps me help you. So please, it's only $35. Spend the $25, and I'll be right back at you soon with another video, and we're going to fight, fight, fight. This corner we have us, in this corner we have them, and this is the battle of the century. Let them wear red because we're bulls, and we are going to come at them like a raging bull. How did I do? Check it out, weaponseducation.com.